That's right! Welcome to the side of the ring because it's time for Ringside. Got a bunch of news lined up for you, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, we're just gonna jump in! For what it's worth, some have noticed Brock Lesnar has again been added to the WWE.com roster page. Listen, I'm not gonna read too much into this because, that's exactly what they want you to do, okay? Because it'd be too easy to be like, that means Brock's coming back, that means that he's going to have a match at WrestleMania, that means that they're probably going to continue on the feud that they had, I don't know, maybe it was just someone was like, just put him back on the page, and then someone was like, what is, people are going to think, like, it doesn't matter, we know, just put him back on the roster page, it doesn't mean anything, we're just putting him back on the roster page, doesn't mean he's going to be in a match, doesn't mean anything crazy, no, he's not going to feud with The Undertaker, just, put it back on the roster page because it's been a while and let's do it now before we forget. You know what I mean? Like the point I'm trying to make is maybe it's just not really that big of a deal. Maybe it's just something that they're doing now so they don't have to worry about later and there's no underlying connotations towards it. It doesn't mean that Brock's going to be in a match. Maybe it does. I don't know. Because they took Brock off of all the stuff for 2K24, but they didn't, erase him, if you know what I mean? Like, he's still, if you did, I don't know. I don't know anything about, hacking or whatever, but I feel like I remember it being like, he's not gone completely. We have not completely gotten rid of him. If you dig deep enough, you can find him in the game, but, we're just sort of keeping him on the back burner for when this sort of goes away, and then we can bring him back. So, I don't know if the whole roster page thing has anything to do with it. Again, I'm like 90% sure it doesn't have anything to do with anything. They're just putting him back on because it's like, let's just do this now, because eventually if he does end up making a return, we want to, get that ready, but yeah, there's not really much else to say. I doubt this is going anywhere, right? Don't expect anything crazy to happen. Listen, I can't see into the future, so I could be wrong, but don't expect anything crazy from this is all I'm trying to say. Next, Fightful notes there was at least some frustration among officials at NXT that WWE booked the Kabuki Warriors in a tag team title match for Raw the week after a planned defense in NXT. Please don't get mad at me for the way I say defense. I watch too much football, and this is not a joke. Every time I see defense or offense, I have to say it like that. I don't say defense, or I don't say I literally can't say offense without saying it like that, because then it would just be offense. And then we'd be talking about the law specifically, like an offense, So that's why I say it. Anyway, that just made me think of that. I only say that because what are we talking about here, folks? Because you remember, Kabuki Warrior, no, Zoe Stark. It was Kane Carter, Katana Chance. I thought it was LeRae and Hartwell, but I think that was last week. Either way, they were there. She did get in the ring and challenged them. And then, I don't see what the big deal is. Prior to that, Lyra was like, hey, got a surprise for you, Tatum. We're going to be in a tag team championship. Hey, folks, can you come here for a second? Who do you hello? Sorry. You didn't think Lyra Valkyria and Tatum Paxley were going to become the women's tag team champions, did you? You didn't think that, right? Hey guys, you really don't think that Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler are just going to suddenly win the tag team championships, right? You don't really think that, because there's no reason you should be getting up in arms about this entire situation unless that was the case. If they were like, oh, Lyra and Tatum versus Kabuki Warriors, and then they won, right? Then you could be like, all right, why'd you do that? Because we already made the match and stuff. But folks, they're not gonna win. If we could just call a spade here, right? You already know, but no offense to any of the competitors, but folks, they're not winning. You can calm down. I don't know where the frustration's coming from. I had to read this a couple times. I had to go into the article on Wrestling just to make sure, because I don't understand what we're getting upset about here. You're allowed to have multiple title matches. Okay, if anything, I encourage that. Sort of makes the title seem a little bit more relevant and important, right? And also, you can defend the title as many times as you want to. We know that you're not going to lose it, so it's almost okay. You almost get a pass. You gotta be careful though. You gotta make sure it doesn't stretch into the realm of okay, when is someone gonna take the titles off of them, right? Which is fine. They just got them. Let them get a couple defenses under their belt. See, I did it again. Let them get a couple defenses under their belt. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I don't understand what the argument is here. I guess it's just like, hey, we already booked them for this, so you're booking them too soon for that. That's the only argument that I have, but I really can't think of anything else. So I have no idea why everybody, well, I say everyone, I don't know why NXT, well, hold on, let me see here. Some officials at NXT, y'all are fine. It's not that big of a deal, okay? Let them have multiple defenses. Moving over to AEW, Sports Illustrated says Kazuchika Okada chose AEW over WWE because he won't be forced to relocate and he can live in Japan if he chooses. Plus, he can work with the Young Bucks and extend his issues with Kenny Omega. Yeah, I mean, that's 100% what I said, you know? I was like, if he goes to WWE, he'll reach a more mainstream audience. They'll be able to do something with him, right? But if he goes to AEW, he won't really have to travel as far and he'll be more free to jump back and forth and everything. He gets to work with the Elite. Depends on who you talk to. Okay, just gonna leave that where it is. All right, I'm not gonna touch it. All right. I guess the only really big thing to talk about is the length of time that he has and how much he's getting paid. That's really what's sticking with me because I don't know. I feel like the just the contract overall should translate to what is in store for you. Right? Because I would have felt a little bit more, I don't know. I talk as though I was supposed to sign him. I would have felt better with 5 years. 5 years, I would have been like, all right, that's enough time for him to build to a title, win it, defend it, lose it, go after it again, go after a new, like, he's got enough time. And I say that as if 3 years isn't a lot, which I already talked about this. I need to stop talking as though 3 years is 6 months, right? Time does move quick. It does. A lot can happen as well. Like, obviously, I don't want anything bad to happen, but, like, it's out of my control, so anything can happen. I just feel like 3 years is just not enough time for him to fully immerse himself, but but again, I keep doing that. It just doesn't feel like enough time to me. It just doesn't feel like enough time. It feels way too short. It feels like he has enough time to get in a title reign, right? And then be in the middle of another title reign. But like, why does he have to be in a year-long I mean, but then again, it's Kazuchika Okada. Why would you have him win a title? It's so, okay, it seems like, well, it doesn't seem it. I mean, it's looking like he's going after the Continental Crown, which is like, fine. If he has to win a title, fine. I wouldn't have chosen Eddie, me personally, but like, you kind of have to give him something, you know? But like, do you really have to give him like something that almost feels like it's Kazuchika Okada, you know? He has to have a title, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like if the walls were closing in any like tighter, they would have given him a women's championship. That's what it feels like, at least to me, right? These are just all my just opinions. Nothing that I'm saying here is set in stone. It's just how I'm feeling. I don't like that he's going after the Continental Championship, man. It just feels like they're giving that to him because he can't go after the world title and he can't go after any other titles right now. So they kind of have to throw that one at him, and it feels like a consolation prize. Like the world title for WWE. It's like, oh, well, we can't give you this one, so here, walk around with that, look pretty, you know? It's like, all right, I would like for, I don't know. He literally just got here. 3 years is a long time. He literally just got here. So let's wait and see, right, before we start making any types of assumptions. Finally, AEW has interest in signing Shelton Benjamin for Fightful. Shelton Benjamin would actually be a very good get for AEW. He would. And he is an incredible wrestler. Okay? Just, I don't even know the word to describe it, right? Amazing tenure. Been with the WWE for ages. I mean, before that, right? Because he was with Brock. And he was like NCAA something. Well, he knows how to wrestle. I know, like actually wrestle, like collegiate wrestle, right? So you want him on your roster. Listen, if I'm gonna be honest, he is on the tail end of his career, right? I mean, he's getting up there in age. So I doubt that he's gonna be hitting the springboard. Well, LA Knight's doing that though. I say that, and LA Knight's doing it, so never mind. So I don't want to make it seem like he's got no time. I'm just saying, you know, he's been wrestling for a very long time. So, I mean, but then again, you know, Edge is going to be in an I Quit match. Age is just a number, folks. All right, I say all that. Okay. listen, as much as I would love Shelton, now we did all that. We were all up there. Now let's come back down a little bit, okay? Listen, I love Shelton, and I think he's great. I'm a little bit worried that AEW is just going to lump him with a tag team, and that's going to be the end of him. Maybe we see him on Rampage, maybe, and that's about as far as that goes. Like, I don't really see him winning a championship, and I'm just being honest. Nothing against him, just it's the way that I feel AEW as a whole is going to handle him, right? Especially with everything that they've got, cooking up so far, right? I feel like Shelton would do a little bit better with an MLW or, a TNA or something. Somewhere where they have the time and the resources to utilize him properly. As opposed to WWE and AEW where they kind of have everything already set in stone. So Shelton would kind of just be shuffled in, but not like... He would be shuffled in, but like on a lower shelf, And I don't want that for him. That's why I feel like PWG, places where it's like, we could lump you somewhere and it would make sense. And you would stand out and you would have like new, fresh matches with fresh talent and different techniques and stuff. You could learn stuff, teach stuff, So, now I say that as if it's going to happen. I don't 100% know. I mean, I'd be lying if I told you that he wouldn't be a nice fit in AEW, but I can't see it in the future. So we're just going to have to wait and see if that's what AEW ends up having to do. What do we talk about? Brock Lesnar is back on the roster page. That doesn't mean anything. I'm not going to sit here because I don't know, and I can't see it in the future. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it doesn't mean anything, because I don't know. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, Lesnar is going to be the second coming of Christ, and he's going to be the WWE Undisputed Universal World Heavyweight Tag Team Champion of the World. Like, I don't know, right? I personally feel like it doesn't mean a single thing. I think they're just doing that because if I knew anything about me, I would do that too. Whoa, why would you do that? Because my stupid ass, it would be like 8 months after Lesnar is like 100% officially back with WWE. And everybody would be like, why is he not on the roster page? What's going on? I'd be like, shit. And then I'd put him on there like, I'd do the same thing. I'd do the exact same thing. I don't get what the frustration is. I'm genuinely confused. I read the article and everything, and I still have no idea what the frustration is. You're upset that they're getting multiple title defenses, but you're making it seem as though they're losing. They're not losing. The title defenses are just padding them out, making them look a little bit better. It doesn't really matter. If anything, the title defenses are better because it makes the rosters feel more alive, Feels like more's happening, so that's what you want. All right, on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said AEW Revolution is likely going to end up at between 170,000 to 176,000 pay-per-view buys. Listen, okay, I don't know numbers. Is that good? I would assume that that's good. 176,000 is not, little, right? But, listen, I don't have time, okay, to run online and look at comparisons, okay? It was $1 million. So, listen, the point is that you take this momentum and you use it for future shows, okay? Kind of chose AEW over WWE. Makes sense. Easy to move around. Visa wouldn't really be that much of an issue because you can hop back and forth, so it's not really that bad. Already know who you're working with. Everybody already pretty much knows who you are within AEW. You gotta climb a little bit higher up the mountain with WWE, but I feel like the peak would be better, but that's just me. So, it's fine. I completely understand why he did it. And AEW is interested in signing Shelton Benjamin. Great. I don't know. I personally would rather they not do that just because I feel like all he would end up doing is being with a tag team with Dustin or something like that. Or, no offense. I'm just saying, like, you wouldn't really get up to a whole lot, to be totally honest with you. A couple matches here, a couple matches there. Maybe, sniff a title, but not really win anything. That's what I'm saying, MLW, TNA, probably be better. Easier to, get into, the rankings and the divisions and stuff like that. But, either way, you want Shelton Benjamin on your roster because he's a great guy. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.